So I'm like, fuck, I gotta fix all this shit before I can even fix my shit.
This is the Uncensored podcast with Robert Peppo.
Do you think people
Check.
will vote for me?
Let's fucking get it. All right, what's up, everybody? This is Robert Peppo with Uncensored number 32. I appreciate you guys. As always, this podcast is sponsored by Peppo Subs, my restaurant. Please check us out. Link will be in the description. Today, I'm going to do a solo podcast. Keep it kind of quick, nothing too long, because I'm still prepping for a lot more guests. Try to do one like every other week or something, because people's schedules are fucking crazy, and mine is too. So, right, I'm kind of specific on the time frames I have to do it, but I'm going to get more creative and bring more people on. So, today, I'm going to talk about one important factor in my come up that helped me. And then I'm going to hit on a few more things about social media, making content, what you got to do to improve your shit, and the reality of things, okay? Reality of business and doing better. I'm going to name this one Going Negative But Staying Positive. All right? What does that mean? That means exactly what it sounds like, all right? Going negative in my bank, okay? So, years ago, when I was a young man making really bad financial decisions and just not even bad necessarily, just living life thinking I was cool, not understanding the way things work, not understanding what it takes to get to the next level, I was spending, I was working a little bit, spending, playing football still. And I remember going into the vitamin shop, I think it was, and my card got declined. And I was like, fuck. I was super embarrassed, even though it's okay. Shit happens. Maybe you thought you had it, maybe you didn't, maybe a bill posted, maybe not. But for me, I was like, damn. Two things happened in that moment. One, I felt embarrassed for myself because I didn't do the right things. And then I was like, damn, what the fuck did I mess up? I got to change something. Why did this happen? Because now I don't get to do what I want to do. So not only did I not get, whatever fucking supplement I was getting, but then that held me back from my second part of that, which was working out and being physically fit. And so it was kind of twofold. All right. So that kind of thing happens in your life. If that happens now, not only do you not get to do the thing that you need to do today for whatever you're going to buy if you don't have the money for it, but that thing might get you to the next level. And if you don't have it, it sets you back. Then you got to wait. So that was one. Okay. So then I started to think, okay, how, for myself, what do I do? Okay. Of course you got to increase your income. That will make that shit not happen again. But how do we make sure it doesn't happen going forward again? So here's what happened. I was like, all right, boom, personal. I got to make some changes. All right, bet. But then I'm like, damn, how do I increase my income? Well, of course, owning a business, or at that time, just being part of the family business, I had to make some changes. And if I was able to implement those changes, then the changes would happen for me. Okay. Then I jumped into it and realized, oh shit, the business has needs. My parents, who are still heavily involved, and the owners have needs. They got to get their shit right. Fuck, how do I do this? So I started to try and get really creative on a bunch of different things. I would try different things. What about this? We gotta be more cautious here and here. So payroll or product purchases or usage, waste, all this shit. That's what I was going through because that's what my business is. And when it started to work, I was like, oh, cool. We got a little extra money. What can we do with that? Well, I was like, damn, it can't just come to me because we got other bills to pay, credit cards, open invoices, shit like that. So I'm like, fuck, I got to fix all this shit before I can even fix my shit. Then I had to get to fucking work. All right. So when I started to do that over the course of a year or two, and I was learning, and I was just coming up, I didn't know shit. Excuse me. I didn't know a fucking thing like I know now, and how to manage cash flow and inventory and payroll and taxes. Man, I learned the fucking hard way so many times. All right. So when I first started to do this, I would be very risky. If we had a little bit of money, I would spend it to knock off one of the things that was holding us back or that needed that money before we knew that we could have additional money to play with for either personal stuff or growing the business. And there was a lot. Let me tell you, there was a lot. And I believe for myself personally, it was like 100,000 I had to fix, okay? Because I wanted to fucking look and act rich before getting rich. Number one fucking mistake for young people and entrepreneurs or people that want to get to somewhere in life. You want to get there fucking quick. I get it, but it doesn't work that way. Then in the business, it was at least 75 to another 100,000 that we had to bring up. And now, of course, paying your bills and stuff, it's not that bad. And people can have debt and leverage and do things that you need to do. Absolutely. But in my opinion, where I was going, what I wanted, what I was doing, that had to be cleared up first. So it took me like 3 to 5 years to fix all that shit. All right. But in the meantime, this is the risk part that I would do. We would gain a little bit extra because of some improvements we have made. And I would automatically chuck it like, fuck this, it's not there. Pay that shit off, pay that debt down, put money here. We need to do it. Let's do it. And it would bring our cash flow to like fucking nothing. All right. And so a few times when we would like dip negative in our business, okay, this is reality as shit. I'm not ashamed to say it. When we would dip negative in the business, I knew that I did it, but I was like, fuck it, I did it. I know that I can do this again. I know that I can get back in there and fix it and bring it back up. Now, nobody wants to do that because then maybe you got to pull some other shit back, and I would always put payroll first. I never wanted to make that a fucking ever, right? Of course not. Our employees are the lifeblood. We need them. We can't do shit without them. But I would risk it hard. I know my dad was probably like, what the fuck, man? What are you doing? In my mind, as a young man coming up, I have time to fix it. I have the energy to fix it. So he's at the end of his career, and I'm at the beginning of mine. And I'm sure, in fact, I know that he was like, yo, what are you fucking doing? And I get it, because I look back and be like, what the fuck was I doing? Thankfully, I did that. But there was plenty of times when cash flow would go up and then fucking down. I was doing things. I was trying to be smart, trying to be strategic, but I didn't know anything. So it was this huge, massive fucking up and down and up and down and up and down. But it took me years to do it. And plenty of times we went negative, like, what the fuck am I going to do? The cash flow's not there. The day wasn't busy. This week was a little slower. And when our weeks are a little slower, it's like 5,000 to 10,000 different if it's like $1,000 a day or something like that, right? So it becomes a big fucking gap. And then when it's busy, I mean, of course, you're more profitable, you're selling more product, cash flow coming in goes up, you can do more things. Well, if you don't know how to manage that or look at your numbers and year to dates and back and forth and check the things that affect your business, you're just going to live in this fucking up and down thing and not know what to do. Thankfully, I was able to overdo things myself that I can make up on to improve that and make up for that lack. But there was a lot of times where it was real fucking scary thinking like, what the fuck are we going to do? There's another bill to pay. So if you're in that spot, it's okay as long as you know. Like I knew I would figure it out. I didn't know how. I didn't know when it would happen. And it sure as fuck wasn't easy. But I knew that if I dedicated myself to figuring this the fuck out and we had a good business, we have great customers, we have sales coming in, I just needed to do the right things that I would figure it out. So I was willing to take that risk on myself and fix all that shit in order to get to the position we're in today. And I still push it and risk it today. I wouldn't even say slightly more cautiously, but I now know what we can do, what we can handle. So we're much more level and on the steady increase always, okay? And we haven't dealt with that for like maybe like 5 fucking years or something like that. But when I was going hard, we were putting it all in. We did that at Tinley Park too. We made a ton of fucking money. And then all of a sudden we were fucking like, oh, let's try this. And then we're like, fuck, we just spent like 20 fucking grand on doing some crazy shit that doesn't even affect the bottom line at all. Sure, it could in the back end. And sure, I could sacrifice more. Sure, we could do creative things, but I was pushing it again. And I'm always going to do that today. It's a much more even and steady increase. So we never have to go back to that. The second part of all that is I was always confident in staying positive that I could do it. So when shit's hard and sometimes you get stressed out, you can get depressed, people don't know what to do, they shut down and then things go to the fucking gutter, okay? Conversely, if you stay positive, here it is, tie in, going negative but staying positive, You then put yourself in a position to figure it out and come out better on the other side of it, which I did. Now, thankfully, I learned that early on, thinking about what I wanted out of my life, having my early mentors, and reading books about how people built companies and the fucking hard shit that it takes, and then realizing what my dad had to sacrifice to get to where he is and the level of business that we are at, that we could do it and we do have time. Okay, we're a long-term business. This is great. We have a great customer base. I had that opportunity, but if you can find that within yourself to stay positive, learn, listen to podcasts, read books. I'm fucking say this shit over and over because it's what allowed me to do what I'm going to do, and it's what set us up to do this next fucking big thing that we're about to do. Okay, so that's number one. Going negative but staying positive. I never had it all figured out, but I was willing to do the fucking work, all right? So that was one. I just want to preface a lot of the things that I say that will lead me into this next point. It's something I came across the other day on TikTok, all right? So fucking kudos to social media and using it correctly, all right? A success diet. And what does that mean? A success diet is not just in food, but it is in social media, TV, at home, who you surround yourself with. Everyone knows you are who you surround yourself with, right? If you're around a bunch of broke motherfuckers, it could be that you are a broke motherfucker. If you are around a lot of rich motherfuckers, it could be that you are rich or that you're trying to get there, okay? If you're around a lot of unhealthy people, you may be unhealthy too. It's just you are a product of your environment. It's not a bad thing necessarily because you can change it. Whatever part of it you want to change, cool. If you don't want to change it, okay, cool. Just understand what's happening. And if you fucking complain about it and don't change anything, that becomes a massive issue. So the success diet is consuming everything that will give you a positive result, okay? So that is in food, okay? Little healthy things here and there. You don't got to go crazy like me sometimes. A little bit better. Cool. That leads to some success. Mental clarity, more energy, better sleep, all right? Better relationships with your spouse, okay? That all leads to it. I promise it does because I've been there too, all right? But what you're consuming in your mind, okay? Are you surfing social media, just wasting motherfucking hell of time, seeing all the negative shit that's on there? Are you watching TV and the news that just blasts all this negative shit, all right? Think about how that's affecting you and the mindset and where you're going after you turn that off in your mind, okay? You're just starting to replay these things, all right? Well, might as well replay the good shit or the positive shit or something that's going to get you something, all right? There's a lot of things out there just trying to get from you, all right? But what are you going to get from it? Leads me to my next point. Using social media properly. Create more than you consume, okay? Or be on there and seeing what's happening and using whatever you see as ideas for your shit. Now, you don't have to be heavy on social media for your own product, your brand, or yourself. You don't have to be, but you can still control it a little bit. But for those of us who are on there for our product, our brand, our personal stuff, see what's happening and use that and just rinse and repeat, okay? Put your own personal spin on it. And don't spend all this fucking time making content. I found a hack, all right? It's making a bunch of content at one time, like when I'm feeling it in the zone, because sometimes I'm not in the zone. I'll do a bunch of content pieces now. I'll make them look good, whatever, and I'll put them in my drafts, and then I'll put them out later, okay? So then the days that I'm feeling down or I don't got no energy, no good ideas, boom, I got something ready to go. And I'm like, oh, damn, all right, bet, I'm going to post that. So I'm also not wasting my time because those of us who are business owners, we work full-time jobs, we have families, that shit takes a long fucking time. And I used to be consumed with it, okay? And I realized, fucking shit, this is a full-time job. This is wasting my time. Oh, I don't like that. I got to change this. Fuck all that. First of all, you are the content, all right? If in your business you want to take some pictures and one day you're like, oh, this is looking good. I got this good idea. Boom, boom, boom. Knock out a bunch of shit and use it later. If you want to make some videos or some content and your mind's on point, sometimes I'll put out like 3-4 videos on my TikTok, but I'll post one and put 3 in my drafts. So I'm like, bet, I'm going to use those later when I ain't feeling it. All right. So use it correctly. All right. Now, the last part of this podcast. The odds are against you. I was talking with my wife the other day about when we were growing up, there wasn't a lot of people around that were wealthy and had a bunch of nice shit. And although the material things doesn't matter, it's that when you're young, you don't know a lot and you're not aware enough to think about the back end of things. So some status symbols are, the professional athlete, the big house, the nice cars. But then when you get older, you realize, damn, there must have been a lot behind that. What did it take to become a professional athlete? What did it take to get this big ass house? It doesn't just appear, right? So there must have been a lot of hard work or a business or smarts behind it or whatever it is. And I was thinking about, I'm like, damn, there wasn't many people back then that had this to look up to. Then I think about now, there's not a lot of people around now that are doing something on a massive level or something really big or creative or cool. And that means the odds are against you. That means it's a very select few that get to do that. That means it might not happen for everybody. And that is okay. And it's not for everybody. 100% not for everybody. But for the people I know and some people that come to me and talk to me and DM me and tell me their ideas and shit, I want to be real as fuck as much as possible. The odds are against you, but that's okay. That doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean you can't get to some really good fucking spot, position, or level for yourself that's better than where you came from or how your parents want better for you. That doesn't mean you can't get there, right? And then you make it better for the next step, for your family, for your kids, for the person coming up under you, for your employees. That doesn't make it bad to just get to whatever is better than where you are or where you were, okay? But some high-level shit is very fucking difficult. But we can do something about that, all right? We can do the success diet, like I said. We can work really fucking hard. We can cut out the bullshit, cut out the wastes. There are so many things. I mean, let's go 5 fucking things in each area you could do. Write that shit down. What little improvements? And I'm talking little improvements because success is in the details. If you make little improvements in your health, there you go. It's a little better. If you make a little improvements at your job, boom, it's a little better. If you make a little improvements in your house, keeping it clean, it's a little better. But those little things then added up compound. Okay, this is where I'm going with this. Make the little things better, and everything around you will get better. So then the odds start to go in your favor, right? Where are we going to get to that tipping point where it starts to change? It doesn't come without massive sacrifice. Like I said in the beginning, it took me probably 3 to 5 years just to fucking figure it out to get even. I had to put everything first before myself. Then it was another 3 to 5 years until I get myself in that right fucking position. Then it starts to fucking go up. You start to be comfortable, financially stable, less stress, less things to think about. Fucking purge all that shit. When you have less things to worry about, you can do a lot more good things. You got to get rid of the bad shit in order to do the good shit. And then eventually, years and years later, you will have only good shit left. And then you know how to deal with the bad shit quickly, swiftly, so it doesn't affect you anymore. That's what I got for you today. Robert Peppo, Uncensored, number 32. I appreciate you guys. Please follow on all social medias. All the links will be in the description. Let's fucking get it.
This is the Uncensored Podcast with Robert Peppo.
Do you think people will vote for me?